Most of us never learned how to train our brains, which is why most of us needlessly settle, struggle, and worse, suffer. My name is Chris Doris, and I want to make brain training mainstream. This is my series, Tough Talks, Conversations on Mental Toughness. I'm interviewing badasses from all walks of life on what mental toughness means to them and their unique approaches to strengthening their minds. Hey everybody, welcome back to Tough Talks, Conversations with Chris Doris, Conversations on Mental Toughness with Chris Doris, which is a lot more interesting than just a damn conversation with Chris Doris. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty pumped. I'm like extremely pumped for today's conversation. No, seriously, I am. This is so exciting for me for a multitude of reasons. That we have our guest today is Angela Meryl, and let me tell you why. Let me start to list the reasons.
Oh my gosh!
No, this is great, and you kind of know where I'm going with this, some of it. But here's the deal. Angela is she's a stunt woman. She's a famous Hollywood stunt woman. That's incredible, and actress. So I started to take notes from, like, I looked at, you have a million bios. It's like there's no shortage of data on you on the internet. Okay. So I realized that I was wasting my time taking notes because I'm writing down the whole damn thing. So let me just go ahead and read, okay, for our audience, a little bit about who you are. Okay, so you got your first gig with Sinbad in the movie First Kid, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and then you've been recognized for a million different for so much of your work, and you've been nominated and you've won so many different awards. There's the Taurus World Stunt Award. I love that it's named. I don't know why it's named Taurus. Do you?
Oh, great! Thank you. No, I don't.
No, but I love that because I am a Taurus, so I love that. So
okay.
The Taurus World Stunt Award nominations for your performance in the opening scene, and I watched this. This is so kick-ass. Tarantino's the opening scene of Tarantino's Kill Bill. That's you. That's you kicking ass. That's you.
That's me and Vivica. It's me and Vivica kicking butt. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right on. And let's see. You won the Taurus World Stunt Award for stunt. Let me see. For best overall stunt woman, stunt by a woman in the movie Obsessed. You're also nominated for Stunt Woman of the Year for your performance in NCIS LA. Where you jumped out of a freaking window on the 33rd floor. We're going to need to talk about the mental toughness that's required for shit like that.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You've been in Skyfall. You were in Pirates of the Caribbean. This is like, and the list goes on and on and on and on. You've been on shows. You were on the Queen Latifah show, and you were also on this other. Maybe you guys who are listening have heard of this. It's a small show. It took off a little. It's called Oprah. It's called the Oprah Winfrey Show. You jumped off her damn studio roof and then sat down with freaking Oprah. So you know that you've made it. Like if you're on the Oprah show, you know you've made it. You have doubled for so many A-listers: Vivica Fox, Naomi Harris, Vanessa Williams, Gabrielle Union, Halle Berry, Rihanna, Beyonce. I mean, what the hell? It's amazing. And if that's not enough, you're a damn author. You've got a book out. You wrote the book called Stunts, the How-To Handbook. Now, all that being said,
Keep going.
Like, please stop. I could keep going, but we only have so much damn time. And I could keep going. And I probably missed a few things that you're thinking, well, but there's also the. So, but seriously, like the most impressive item in your biography by far, on your resume, and it's the same reason that qualified you to be on this show, because I know you're probably really nervous for this, so just breathe, because I know this is a big deal for you. You've been on Oprah and all, but whatever. This is the Chris Doris. This is right. Just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, kind of stuff. But what really leapfrogged you, because the waiting list for guests on this show, is like as long as like from LA back to Philly.
Right. I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So what leapfrogged you, speaking of Philly, to the front of that list, all right, and clearly the most impressive piece of your resume is the fact that you were born in Germantown, Pennsylvania, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Right outside of Philadelphia. And you grew up in Willingboro, New Jersey, South Jersey. which is a mere Schwinn bicycle ride away from where
Yeah.
I grew up in Haddon Township or Collingswood, New Jersey. Only like 15 miles. Yes! And that's
I'm
it.
wearing my Eagles
Yes, baby. We just alienated all of our Dallas fan followers.
slippers. Sorry, Dallas.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, yeah, you're a diehard Eagles fan. As soon as I heard that, I thought, who cares about the damn Oprah Winfrey show? She's a huge fan of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Come and get you some.
That's
So,
right.
listen, I know how busy you are, and I really want to thank you for making time, to talk about mental toughness with us today. So I really appreciate that. And you know my intention, as I explained to you when we spoke last week, my whole intention, and as a reminder for those who are listening or watching, that the whole intent, right, for this, for even doing these interviews, for having the Tough Talks experience occur, is because I'm actually a little bitter about the fact that we weren't taught mental toughness in grade school. Like we weren't raised with a class. Like we had math and social studies and science, and we even had gym, right?
Right.
So we appreciated how important and the value of exercise, the exercising the body. But we didn't have the emphasis on, right, exactly, right? So, and you just pointed to your head for the people that are listening to the podcast, we didn't have the training and we weren't educated on the unbelievable importance of strengthening our minds. And that's why I'm doing this. Okay, I'm inviting people like you, badasses from totally diverse and unique walks of life. And you are that, and you know you're that. And you have stories. You have great stories, and I'm really, really pumped. So thank you so much, because I want people to hear your stories. I want people to hear your unique experience, with mental toughness, what role it's played in your life, the challenges, what kind of experiences. I mean, you're a minority woman from South Jersey, and now you're a famous stunt woman. I think you probably have come across some adversity on the path, right?
Yes,
So thanks
I
for being
have.
here, and I'm
Thank
not
you for
looking.
having me. Thank
Yeah,
you for having me.
100, of course, of course. So let's start talking about it.
Okay.
How did this all happen?
How did this all happen?
How'd you get
We
into
don't have
this?
time for the
Yeah.
long story. We really
Let
don't.
me ask you this. I'll make it simple for you. How
But I
many
mean,
other stunt women do you know from famous stunt women from South Jersey?
I don't know any.
Right, so which
There,
makes you an outlier.
well, there are other women from New Jersey. There's a good friend of mine, Nicole Callender. She's in North Jersey. There's Dakota Bound. She's in North Jersey. And I'm sure there's other women in North Jersey, but South Jersey, I
South.
really
We're
don't know
talking
of
South.
any.
And then let me say this about where we're from, and you can confirm this. And it's still home to me. I've been in Arizona
Me
for 20.
too.
Okay, right. And well, you have a home still back there. My family's still back there. I go back all the time.
So do
So
I.
many of my best friends are there. My sister is in Villanova. She's a professor. I go back and watch Villanova games, speaking of champions. And
Congratulations.
right, how good is this year? So people don't really leave South Jersey. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying, and I love that because I get to go home and all my buddies are still there and my friends,
right.
and it's one of the endearing qualities about home.
Because it's home.
It
It
is
will
home,
always be
and
home.
there's things that haven't changed, and there's people that'll stay, and they love that, and I love that. I had to go. I had to go for my reasons. You bounced for your
Yeah.
reasons,
Yeah.
but not a lot of people do.
Right.
Right. So let's talk about your calling and how it's how you ended up pursuing this and how you ended up succeeding.
Okay, that's three questions in one. So I'll start with the first one, which is how did I end up where I am right now? Is like you said, your show, Mental Toughness. Once I got the job on First Kid, working with my dear friend who is now deceased, Rusty McClendon, and Henry Kingi, who is very famous stuntman who's done a lot of Fast and Furious, and you would know who he was if you looked him up, Henry Kingi. Once I got that job and I realized I can go to work, and for me, go to work and play because, I grew up playing with boys, playing football, running track, playing basketball, not in school, just for fun. Riding my skateboard, riding a bike. Once I knew I could actually get paid for doing these things, I thought, man, this is gonna be fun. And don't get me wrong, it has been really challenging at times being away from my family, being away from my daughter, having to travel for work, having to get babysitter, having to line up all these things. You definitely have to have that mental toughness because you could drive yourself crazy
Mm.
worrying about that. But once I knew I could make this a career, I decided, okay, this is it. This is the path that God wants me on, and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to train. I'm going to study. I'm going to network, and I am just going to get out and hustle and do what I can do to make this a career of mine.
Yeah. So you're a martial artist, right?
I am a martial artist,
What are
and
you?
I
Yeah.
go ahead.
What are you? What martial arts do you practice?
Well, I started off with Tong Sudo with Master Giacobi in South Jersey,
Wow.
actually,
Wow.
Blackwood, New Jersey, Master Giacobi and Master Ricks, Master Lester Ricks. And then from there, I started training with an instructor in Philadelphia, Red Dragons. And then from there, I took some Goju in Camden, actually.
Wow.
And then once I moved to LA, I got introduced to Marcus Salgado, who trained Wesley Snipes for all the Blade
Wow.
movies. So I actually still train with him. I'm training with him tomorrow. And we do freestyle, we do broadsword, we do collie sticks, we do the bow staff, which is really big now because of the Black Panther. So
Mm.
everybody is really into this weapon now, and it's just,
Mm.
I love martial arts. I wish I could train every day
So
with my
talk.
teacher.
Let's just talk about the mental aspect of that. Okay, of martial arts. I don't practice martial arts, and I never have.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't know why not.
You don't know why not?
I mean, I guess I never really, that wasn't a priority for me.
Okay. Well, training with martial arts, it gives you a mental toughness. It gives you the self-confidence to conquer. For me, it's given me the self-confidence to basically make it through my daily life of hustling to get stunt work, of dealing with a male-dominated field, of having a child and going through, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years old. It takes a lot to raise a kid. So
Mm.
martial arts has helped me stay in shape. I can't talk. It has helped me stay focused. It has helped me did I say that? Stay in shape. I mean,
You can say that again.
yeah, I'm going to say it again because it works every part of your body. No matter what you're doing, it works
Hmm.
every part of your body. And if you can make it through a class of the Red Dragons in Philadelphia, which is in a rec center in King Sessing, in the basement, we used to call it Welcome to the Terror Dome. You could smell the sweat as you
Hmm.
went to go work out. And for hours, we would be down there training for hours.
So let's go ahead and jump to the jump. All right, let's talk
Okay.
about. So were you jumped out of a 33rd story window
Backwards.
backwards, right?
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah. Um, were you scared?
I, come on, I'm not going to lie. Of course I was scared.
Okay, good. That makes you seem more normal. Okay, because that's
Yeah,
not a normal thing. Okay, to do.
no,
Okay,
it's not.
right.
It's not a normal thing.
No, that's
Yeah, I
not a
was
normal
scared.
thing.
And I tell you, I was scared to the point where all day long, and this floor was empty. So there was nothing on this floor. So
Hmm.
all the windows were
Where
free.
was this?
It was downtown at the AT&T building, downtown LA.
Okay.
I looked out the window, but I never looked down to the ground. I continued to look out and beyond because I knew if I looked down before I did that gag, oh hell no. I'm not doing this. Are you crazy? I'm not. But I didn't look down. So therefore, in my head, I didn't know how high up I was, if that even makes sense.
Hmm.
I didn't get the depth of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because I was going out backwards, for me, it made it easier for me. I don't know if that makes sense, but because I didn't see, you know, I just went for it. And I was on a wire. Trust me, I was on a wire. I knew I was secure. We had a rehearsal a couple of days prior to that, and it was extremely windy. I have some of that footage on my website where you can see my hair is just blowing everywhere, and I'm going back and forth like this because it's so windy. So
Before
the
you
day that
mean windy before you even jump? Like we're
yeah, it was windy
so
on
yeah, I mean, but
rehearsal.
like okay, so the rehearsal was that on this at the same exact spot as the actual
Same
jump?
exact spot. And again, I didn't look down. I didn't
So
look down. Yeah, I
like,
know
do you
that's
tell
weird.
yourself stuff like before you do something like that? And it doesn't have to be that dramatic of a stunt, but like, do you have like a pregame or what do you do to get your head
My
right for stuff like
pregame.
that?
Well, first and foremost, I pray
Mm.
and I visualize. So I pray first. I visualize myself coming home to my family. That is the most important thing. Coming home the same way I went to work. Of course, when you're doing fights and stuff, you're going to have bumps and bruises. You may have busted lip, black eye, whatever. But I pray that I come home in one piece. I know. I pray that I come home in one piece the same way I went to work. So it's pray to God, visualize, see myself doing the gag, completing the gag,
Can
and
you
then of
say
course,
what is gag? I don't know what that is.
I'm sorry, doing the stunt,
What
doing the
does
stunt,
gag just means the thing?
gag,
The
stunt.
gag, does it
Yeah,
stand for something? Or is it,
just gag.
that's I wouldn't
It's the
choose that word.
industry.
Okay, okay. If I was going to say, hey, let's come up with a word. Okay, like a nickname, right? For like
Guess that's what
the
it is.
stunt gag is not the first thing that would come to mind. Is like because that's the word we use when we choke, right? In sports, it's like
Right.
how he gagged. That was a
Yeah.
gag. It's not
Yeah.
complimentary. It's not. It doesn't boost confidence, right? But you're not thinking of it that way.
No, totally not.
I hope
Totally
not.
not.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
All right.
totally
It's a
not.
different deal. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So let's talk about the visualization part.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because that has been an enormous staple in my entire career.
Really?
Well, of course, like as a mental toughness coach, and even prior to that I started as a social worker in Atlantic City. I don't know if you know that, but I was working with homeless people and drug addicts and schizophrenics on the streets of Atlantic City. That's where I started.
Okay.
That was my first job out of college, and then I became a licensed therapist. Right, and then I became a mental coach, a sports psychologist. Right.
Oh,
Prior to that, before I graduated from Muhlenberg, I was working down at Cape May County Youth Shelter with kids, and we would talk about just because I was geeked out on this whole human peak performance stuff was just always my shtick. What are we capable of, and how much better could we make our lives?
right.
Visualization was always something that would come up in my studies. So we would use it like, what do you see for yourself? What do you? Because we
Yes.
are always visualizing, we're always daydreaming. That is
Right.
visualization. We're just creating
Right.
images in our mind's eye.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
but there's a way to do it like intentionally, right?
Yes.
With purpose, so that it serves a function because it is serving a function. Like most of us are visualizing what we want to avoid as we
The
go through life,
negative.
right?
Yeah.
Just think about what
Yeah.
we don't want, not realizing we're
Right.
planting those tapes in our mind and actually increasing the likelihood of that happening.
Yes.
So, so that's one of the most powerful tools that we have as human beings. So I rely on it tremendously, and I
Uh-huh.
utilize it daily. I visualize this in preparation. So for the last, honest to God, and because joking aside, I was nervous to talk to you because
Why?
you're a superstar.
Jersey, how could you be
I know. We
nervous?
already talked. I got past my nervousness because we connected on the South Jersey level.
Jersey, Philly. I'm
But
from
that
Jersey,
does
Philly. Yes.
well. Now see, now we're creating a separation where like we can't have that right now in Philadelphia, is it? But it is like sometimes we got to get past that. Actually, let's just address that real quick for our Philadelphia lover listeners.
Okay.
Is that this Super Bowl win has to have a unifying effect on us. So we can't be like, oh, you're not a real fan because you're from South Jersey. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah. No, come
Well,
on now.
you don't do that. You didn't say that. You're from
Yeah,
both. So
I'm
like you
from
bridge.
both. I
You
was born
literally
in Philly.
bridge the gap.
Yeah.
You're
Born
like
in
the Ben
Philly.
Franklin and the Walt Whitman. You're
Yeah.
bridging it.
And the Betsy Ross. Don't forget
And the
that.
Bessie Ross. Yeah, okay. And the Tacony Palmyra, which was actually
And the
pretty close to
Burlington
where you
Bristol.
and all that.
The
So
Commodore Barry.
yeah, and it just keeps going. Actually, there aren't that many more. I think you just named them
I
all.
know. That's it.
That's it. So yeah, those are all the
Visualization.
bridges.
We were
Yep,
talking
imagery.
about
Yeah,
visualization.
yeah.
So,
So why don't we talk about that? So what do you like? What do you? All right, let's just stick with the jump,
okay.
right? Like you
Okay.
visualize. What are you doing?
Okay, so that morning, that day, I'm putting on my harness, and we rehearsed the stunt. So obviously, I knew what was going to take place. So I'm working with Elisa Hensley, who is also a phenomenal stunt woman.
Mm.
She is doubling one of the bad girls, co-star on the show for that week. We get into a fight, and I'm doubling Ingenue Ellis. So I'm seeing all this in my mind. She kicks me in the stomach, chest, stomach area, which pushes me out the window. So I'm visualizing us doing this back and forth, and then she kicks me, and I visualize myself going out, and then I'm just hanging there. And it's 1,000, 1,000. You start counting, and you start thinking, what am I going to make for dinner?
Really, really.
No, really, really, and like, oh my God, it's really windy out here. Oh my God, that was fun. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
What are
Okay,
you
and then
on? Like, what's the rope? What are you tied to?
it's a
Is it a
cable.
bungee? Like, what do you
No,
just go
no, it's not a
bam?
bungee. You're on a cable. It's, oh gosh, please don't ask me the technical terms.
Well, like, why don't
But
you? Why doesn't it break your back when you reach the end of the cable?
because I'm on a stop, and God, I feel horrible. I can't tell you
So it
all of the
just kind of
technical
slows you
terms.
down. You don't need to tell me the technical terms, but
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well,
so it slows you because this is because knowing that in advance is also part of the psychology of it. Is like, is it going to hurt?
yeah, well, no, this isn't that type of wire. There's several different wires where you have a break when you're doing a high fall and you're going all the way down to the street. You do have a break where you can slow yourself down and come to a stop.
You control that.
Well, yes and no.
Okay,
There's so many different ways you can do this type of stunt. The
sure.
one I was on, they measured it. So when I got to the end of my line, I would stop. I wouldn't bounce. I didn't get jerked or anything
Okay,
like that. It
and you
was
knew
just
that
I
in advance.
jumped and I landed.
So you're visualizing before you go. You're just
Yes.
visualizing what you want to have happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm visualizing myself, them pulling me back up and me coming back inside the building.
Now, why? Now, I know this sounds like an obvious question, or maybe a simple question, but this is important.
Definitely.
Why even go to the effort of doing that?
Why even go through the effort of visualizing?
Hmm.
Because it's important for me to know the steps of what's going to happen. Every single step is connected to me being safe and me coming home to my family in one piece. That's why it's important. And it's important for me to tell myself confident, motivating things before I'm about to do something that nobody else is going to do. That's why I got called. I'm sure
Right.
there's other girls that would have done it, but I got called for the job. So, in order to get prepared for that, you have all these mental things that go through your head that prep you for the job, and that's visualization.
If you're gonna say, if you're going, I'm sure you've done this, going to give some advice to a young woman
Hmm.
from back home, right? So you're back home in the summer, right?
Uh-huh.
And you're just hanging, you're at a friend's, barbecue or something, and there's this young girl who's just idolizing you, and just like what? No, because really, I mean,
Thank you. Thank you.
and she's just starstruck, and she's like, I want to be a stunt woman. I want to be a stunt woman. It's amazing. I've watched you. And like, what kind of advice? What kind of psychological? Like, if you really had only like, if you could only give her one nugget, and I know that's a hard question, but if you could only give one nugget of psychological advice for her,
It's actually not a hard question at all. For
okay,
me, it would be stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself.
tell us what you mean by that.
What I mean by that is don't get pushed into a corner where now you have to do a job. Don't do something that you're not comfortable with.
Hmm.
Don't go along with the crowd. If your gut is telling you no, listen to your gut. And that's what I mean by staying true to yourself. Listen to your gut. Your gut is always right.
Wow. Okay. Can I play a little devil's advocate just for the sake of being
No,
thorough?
there is no devil's advocate.
Thanks everyone for
You
joining. No, no,
you have an opinion. Go ahead. You can have your opinion. Go ahead.
no. Just let me clarify. I
Okay.
infinitely agree with you, but for
Okay.
the sake of being thorough, I want to act like a skeptic on that.
Okay.
And this is me totally acting
Okay.
because I 100% agree with you. But I want to hear
Okay.
from you a little bit
Okay.
more of an elaboration on what that means because you know what the advice you just gave that little girl is in infinite contrast to so much other learning that she's going to get from our culture, which is to play safe. And not only play safe, but that she can't have what she wants. That is the conditioning. We are well educated about our limitations. It's one of the biggest observations that I make in my whole career in helping people create the lives that they want, right?
Right.
So you're telling her, trust your gut. It's always right,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But
But
if she says to people like she gets around freshman year in high school and she starts saying I want
uh-huh.
to be a famous Hollywood stunt woman,
Uh-huh.
right? I want to be a really successful stunt woman in big ass movies, and I want to be on Oprah,
Okay.
like Angela Merrill, and you know what she's going to hear?
You can't do that.
Exacto.
Well, that's what I heard. And you know what I said back?
Nope, I
Watch
want to.
me.
Really?
Watch me.
So
Watch me.
where did you get that?
You know, my mom was also a very tough woman. She had three kids, two dogs that she was raising, married, divorced, and we were, I'll say, 16 and under,
Uh-huh.
living in Jersey.
Yeah.
I got it from her because she worked and went to school and had the three kids and two German shepherds to raise. It was a lot. And growing up, I hung out with the boys because a lot of girls did not like me. So, where did that leave me as far as friends? I hung out with the boys. To hang out with the boys, what do you need? You got to be tough. You got to be
Mm.
able to take a hit. You got to be able to take all the smart beep comments. You got to be able to take all of that. And
Yeah.
that's where it comes from.
Well,
And
that you are blessed, right? To have had a mother that, whether she ever talked about it out loud or not, she modeled that for you.
she
You learned that.
modeled it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she didn't
Yeah.
talk about it. She just did it. And that's what I do. I just do it. I don't necessarily always talk about it because for me, when I think about my to-do list,
Yeah.
I get overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, how am I going to do all this? And I have to pick my daughter up. What's for dinner? I got to go to the store. I got to go to Target. Don't think about it. Write it down because that'll keep you focused. And then at the end of the day, you get to check off everything that you did. I did it. Okay. Okay. I know it
Let's.
sounds easy, but it's
Well,
not.
now that's.
It,
Thank you for saying
well,
that. No, no, no. That's huge, right? That's perfect. You just totally
yeah,
segued exactly where I was going with this. Okay,
right.
because it can sound really easy,
Yeah.
right? And you think you look back on your story, and we tend to say, well, I made it. Wow, I made it, and because I stuck with it. Let's talk about, right, to make this really accessible for listeners who are like, yeah, but there might be thinking here like, well, she's lucky, she had good mentoring and all that shit. Like, let's talk about some of the hardest parts, like where you really needed mental toughness.
Oh my God. Okay. When I left Jersey,
Mm.
I bought a condo in Jersey, and a friend of mine that I met on Shaft, doubling Vanessa Williams, suggested that I come to LA. There's nobody out there like you. You need to come to LA. Okay. Wasn't ready to go right then. One morning I woke up and I remember this so clearly. It was on a Sunday morning. Time to go. I didn't have anything except for my family that was really tying me to New Jersey. So I decided, okay, God, I hear you. This is it. I need to go. 2 weeks later, I was on a plane. I put my dog in a kennel, which killed me, for 3 months.
Hmm.
Stayed with a guy that I had never met before, but he was a friend of my friend that I worked with on Shaft. For 3 weeks, I got nervous every single day. I was scared. I can't tell you everything because it's a little embarrassing. I cried because I couldn't find my way around. And one day I sat in the car right around the corner from the house, not knowing I was right around the corner. I sat in the car crying because I couldn't figure out how to get back to his apartment. I was right around the corner. If I had just took a breath, looked around me, I would have realized, oh my God, his house is right there. But I was so much in my head
Hmm.
that I couldn't see.
Hmm.
For 3 weeks, I was just a nervous wreck, a nervous wreck. After that 3 weeks passed and I was getting parking tickets, you can't park here when the sun goes down. Well, where is that sign? What time is that? The sun's not down to me, but to the parking ticket agent, the sun's down. Like, what is that? What else?
Well,
God.
let's go back even a little further. Okay, let's go back
Okay.
to like, so at what point in your life did you first start thinking, I want to be an actress slash stunt woman?
Let's see. When I was in my, I think, senior year in high school, I wanted to model. And I heard that, no, you can't. No, you can't. You're too hippie. No, you can't. You're too short. Really? Watch. Watch me. So I started taking modeling classes. My mom put me in this group called Girls on the Move in South Jersey.
Hmm.
And Roberta Luen was the head of it, and Ida Peace was also the head of it. And we did the mall fashion shows at Morristown Mall, Cherry Hill Mall.
Echelon Mall, Deafy
Yes,
Mall.
Voorhees, yes, all of that. I did all of that. So that kind of boosted my confidence. Okay, I can do this. I did print work for Boscov's. And then from there, I met a casting director, Mike Lemon, who's in Philadelphia. Kathy Wickline. All these people are still around. I started with them.
Okay, I want to screenshot some of that.
Okay.
Okay, because I think one of the most important things here, which is a takeaway for people listening, is the part, and I think it's really important for us to put this under a microscope and expand on it. Okay, to really slow
Okay.
down and say the watch me piece. Watch me. Okay, that's mental toughness. Okay, because
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah.
because it takes strength.
Oh, yeah.
All right, because you don't have evidence. You can because if somebody said to you, prove it. How are you going to do? You got nothing, except watch me. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
That's
Watch
all you
me.
got.
Is that really all you have? I
Well, I
don't
mean, as a
know.
teenager, you're saying you want to be a model, and you want to be an actress, and you want to be like, Did you ever say
As
in
a
advance? Did you
teenager.
ever say that you wanted to be on Oprah?
No, I
No.
didn't. Not no. Not until I realized that it was coming to fruition, then I really started to visualize it. I got one of her magazines and posted it. I have a vision board that I post my things on that I look at throughout the day. So I put her picture up on my vision board and I would just sit there and look at her.
So wait,
And
so
of
you
course
did?
I watched. Well, after the phone call was made, there's a
Oh,
potential that you might be on Oprah. What?
wow.
Okay.
Did you get nervous for that?
Of course. Come on, it's Oprah. Who wouldn't be nervous?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking that.
Well, yeah, I was nervous because I hadn't done high falls in 8 years. And when they called me and said, Oprah wants you to jump off her building, I'm
It's
thinking,
so great. Oprah wants
what?
you to jump off her building.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not a
So
call
it
you get every
was,
day.
okay, let me go practice. Let me go train because I haven't trained in high falls in 8 years. So that weekend, I worked on my high falls with a girlfriend, Dakota Bound, and we perfected, where I'm supposed to look and how I should hold my head. We did all of that.
Yeah.
And then I go out and I jump live off of her building. And then from that high, I go to another high and sit down with her. And I had seconds in between to come down off of one high to go to another one.
All right. I mean, because that is just resilience. That's just determination, right? And whether you have
Yeah,
any evidence or not,
exactly.
you didn't have a boatload of evidence. That's for damn sure. As a
No.
teenager, So let's talk about what that is. Watch me. Um, it's well, you tell me what if you were going to elaborate on what's the mentality behind the
So
words
watch me.
"watch me."
I want to say it is, you made me mad. You made me mad because you don't think I can do something that I said I could do. So now I'm going to have to prove it to you. I can do it. Gosh, what else is behind
Oh,
that?
I love that. Right? Is
Yeah, it's I have the strength
so
and the
so
confidence to do what I said I'm going to do, and I'm
okay.
going to do it.
So I'm gonna just for the sake of clarity and simplicity, I'm gonna call that determination. All right.
Right. Yes.
Right.
I'm
That's
very
accurate, right?
determined.
Yeah.
Yes, extremely
But that
accurate.
okay, but that's an option because when people tell you you can't do something, especially when you're so impressionable at that age,
Mhm.
you're not an authority
Right.
in the eyes of the world. You're not, but you are the authority of you. But we forget that.
Yes.
Okay, and that's the advice you gave the little girl at the barbecue.
Hmm.
Basically, without saying those words, you're the authority of you. Trust that shit,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So what you did is you made a choice. Now there
Hmm.
were other options available to you. Okay, other than determination, it could have been resignation,
I could have
right?
caved in.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
right. So that's an option. Now, in my experience, when someone makes that decision to choose to say,
Choose.
"Watch me," now you are accountable.
Right.
Now it's like, now what do you get? Well, you better back that shit up,
Right. Exactly.
or
Exactly.
else now you're even stupider than before.
But see, then it goes back to stay true to yourself. Is this something that you really want to do? They, they go hand in hand. I'm staying true to myself because this is what I want to do, and now you're telling me I can't do it.
So
Well, now, which is what?
which is a greater source of motivation, if there is, or maybe they're tied. I don't know. You tell me. The whole pursuit of your passion and what you want, or the told you.
No, because it's for me. It's not for that person. It's for me because I'm the one that said it.
Oh, so you're like told you.
Well,
Like I
no.
told me, like I told me. I
Yeah.
said I'd do it, and I did it. I
The
don't care what they think.
satisfaction, is that right? Gratification is
Yeah,
for me. It's not for the other person because I knew I could do it. Am I proving am I proving that I could do it? Yeah, but that's for me because I said I wanted to do it. You said I couldn't do it. So, yeah, you'll get to sit over there and watch me. But no, I'm not. Am I going to point the finger back at you? Maybe silently in the back of my head, honestly.
yeah.
But in the front of my head, no, it's for me. It's to build my confidence. It's to keep me strong. It's to keep me determined. It's to keep me hungry. It's not about the haters, the naysayers. It's not about them.
Okay.
It's for me. This is what I want to do.
Well, speaking of that, what's next for you?
What's next for me? More acting, more writing, more investing in real estate,
Yep.
more motivating talks. That's what's next, and that's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm ready to share and give.
Yeah, you told me the other day that you're taking acting classes, and
Yes, I've
you're
been
already you know, hey, you were in Westworld.
yes.
Can you tell me what? I love that show.
Do you? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
You haven't. You're in
I
it.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have time to watch the shit that I'm in.
No,
I just do
no.
it. That's
Yeah,
a
no,
trippy show.
it's
So
not that.
can you tell me what episode you're in so I could go watch you? Do you
Um,
remember?
no, I can't even tell you
Well, if
that
you
because
find it out, tell me offline,
I
could you?
will. I
Because
will.
I seriously want to find you.
Okay.
I have them all recorded.
Really?
I love
Okay.
that show. Yeah.
Well, it was a fight. It was a massive. Probably shouldn't
Just
even
if
be
you
saying
can find
that.
it out, tell me,
I
okay?
will.
And then
I
maybe I'll
will.
put it in the show notes here
Okay.
if there are any other Westworld fans, which I suspect that there are listening to this.
Okay. Okay. I'm not
That'd be
doubling
cool.
anybody. There's a group of us doing a massive fight scene. So will you see me? I don't know. You may. You may
Well, I
not.
can stop
Not
it. I
really
can look for it. And I can find it.
sure.
Like I said, I know her. I know her.
Yes.
She's an
Yeah.
Eagles. There's an Eagles fan in there.
Eagles fan. That's right. Die
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, right on.
I go back to
It,
Jaworski.
yeah, so I just heard
Very
from a buddy
little.
of mine that Ron Jaworski was right after the Super Bowl was doing an interview on it, and he got choked up. He started weeping during, not choked up. He started weeping
Yeah.
during the interview. Isn't that great? Jaws.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
great. It's
right
for
on.
everybody.
Yeah,
That win was for everybody.
yeah,
Ah, I get goosebumps just thinking about that. It's so cool.
I know.
So cool.
Well, speaking of so cool, you're so cool,
You're so cool.
and so now you're so cool, and and thank you again for making time and sharing just some snippets from your remarkable, unique journey
Thank you.
with us, and hopefully I can have you on again and hear some more stories.
Okay,
So,
I've got
Angela,
that.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. I
Okay,
appreciate you.
thanks. Take care.
All right. Bye.